Hello, welcome crafty friends. Amanda here with Crafting with Amanda, and today is my day to show you a twist on one of the close to my heart products from the new 2022-2023 Core Catalog, and I selected this seasonal haul stamp set in thin cut. There is just so many twists that I saw on this. The first thing that I saw was instead of the ends of wood to be hauling in your truck, you can use that as a scallop border. Next, there's these pointed banners that I think you could use for monsters' teeth. There are some images that, I don't know if you watch VeggieTales, but they could be VeggieTale characters or chess pieces. And then if you use the back of the bottom of the Christmas tree, I think that could be an acorn. And then if you take the trunk off the Christmas tree, it can be a slice of pizza. Julie Scott helped me with that one. I do have a treat if you watch to the end, or if you want to go ahead and click to the end, you can see one other thing that I did with the scallops that's not on, that's not a scalloped edge, but it's kind of a treat, and it's totally something I would do. I have these photos from when we had family coming and visiting us up in the farm in Michigan, and it's all from one day, and our little guy just loved hot dogs and ketchup, and he could have probably eaten that for all 3 meals if we would have let him. So it brings back such good memories. The papers I'm going to use, this first set is from the Core Catalog, and it's the seasonal 4 seasons, but it's the summer version. So I already have the paper spread out so you can see all 4 patterns. I just love this, the colors in it, and it just really does speak of summer. But it also pairs very nicely with the beach day papers that are in the seasonal catalog for July, August, and September. So I went ahead and took Capri cardstock, White Daisy, and then a piece of the, I think it's the Bluebird pattern paper from the beach day, and just cut a 1/4 inch strip. And I did 2 of those. So I have 8 inches of Capri cardstock, 4.5 inches of White Daisy, and then a 3-inch strip from the summer 4 seasons. And I'm just showing you here, these are some of the embellishments that I pulled out. I'm trying to use up some of the embellishments that I have, just so that as I move forward, I just make embellishments as I go. I'll probably have some extra, but I'm just getting overwhelmed with how many embellishments have come out of the woodworks. So here to make my 12 by 12 page without kind of wasting and double layering everything, I just put some glue, white glue on my White Daisy piece, and then using the Versamat to line it up, then I make sure that it's a 12 by 12. I add that 3-inch piece there to the left, and then I will add this strip from the beach day paper on next to it. And I use the rulers or the guides that are on the Versamat to help make sure that those are straight. And I do the same thing for the right side page, just as a mirrored image. So here I'm just tacking the photos down. I don't like to place them fully with all the adhesive until I know exactly what direction I'm going in, but I also don't like losing the photos as I pick up my papers and move things around. So off camera, I cut off a whole bunch of these scalloped pieces with a thin cut, and I'm realizing I'm going to need to cut some more. So I have some in the green stripe paper, and then I used Bluebell cardstock, and I just cut, it's a 5/8 strip, and that's basically one line over, like one of the medium size lines over a 1/2 inch. And then I run it through, and I can get 6 pieces out of one 12-inch strip of these little scallops. So now I tried to audition them originally, using them around the photos, kind of almost as a marquee, thing, and it was just too busy. So I put a strip of glue down just like I did here, but now I'm going to offset the green striped scallops from the Bluebell cardstock scallops and just kind of make a soft border here. Cut off the edges, and voila, you have a nice little scallop border. And I'm going to cover some of it with embellishments in that, but really when the layout is done, I didn't even see them. It just looked like another addition to the papers. So now I'm working on the right side. As you can see, I put it all together the same as the left. I added the scallops, trying to offset the bumps. And what I'm doing here is just for photo placement, and I made sure that the spacing between my photos was similar, and even though the photos on my right page are bigger and go up taller, it's still even borders around those. So I took this Sun and Fun title off of the beach day stickies, and I'm just auditioning at different places. I'm happy with it here, so I'm going to go ahead and press that down. I have this, I can't even see what it says, but I have this Sun Here We Come photo of our family members, and they just she loved going out and picking. We had fields of hay, but in June there was a lot of daisies in a few of our fields, so Kelly loved to go out and pick all the weeds for us. My husband does not like daisies at all. Growing up on a farm and having to go and try to weed the field and take care of them, he's not a daisy fan. So here I found, this is actually a die that I had borrowed at a scrapbook retreat from a lady, and I just cut several instances of it. I can't even tell you what color paper it is, but it's very old, and I don't even own the die. Like I said, I borrowed it as a retreat, but I'm trying to use up some of my embellishments. I did use the sandcastle bucket and the flip-flops, also from the beach day stickers, and now I need to add journaling. And I found in my stamps, as I was looking for my journaling stamps, that I had my Farm Days stamps out. Let me look at what title that is. It's called Howdy, and it has this image of kind of a farm with a barn and a silo and the fence. And so I just thought that would be fun, because this is where these photos took place, was at the farm. And I was just auditioning to see what length I needed for under this photo, because there's kind of two different events going on. Previously, we would have piles of lime brought in, and that's what we use actually to help the fields. You need to balance your pH levels, but you also have to have lime for that, because lime helps that soil use up any fertilizer you put on. And since fertilizer is rather expensive, you want to make sure that you get the best use out of it you can. So we used to have lime piles that the kids would play in, and it's fine. You just have to take showers before you go to bed. But this year we didn't have any lime, and we needed some sand for placing some grain bins that we were moving. So we piled it up by the yard, knowing that some of it was just going to get incorporated into the grass, but that it would also be a nice play area for a couple years. And I like to do a dot of glue on my cut up multi-purpose mat, and then dip my sentiments in there. I just feel like I don't have, it's a little easier, faster for me, so that's what I'm doing. And then I cut apart that thin cut, or the die cuts that I had found in my stash, and I'm just tucking in all the different leaves. The daisies that grow in the fields have very little straggly leaves, I guess you could call them. And so I think this, just cutting it all apart, works perfectly to represent the daisies that Kelly is holding. I am looking at the sticker sheet from the Four Seasons summer paper pack and pulling out, that's where the hearts are coming from. That's where some of the flowers and where the tab, like the file folder tab that I put on the other page, came from. Just trying to find some balance between some words. So I have like 3 areas of daisies between the 2 pages. I have kind of 3 areas of stickers. Again, it's just to kind of draw your eye from one side to the other. The scallop borders and the layout of the flowers at the edge. All of those are things that help you move your eye towards the feature that you want. And in this case, those are photos. I'm just giving, these are really, really old, like from the veranda collection. I don't know, it had to be 10 plus years ago, flowers, and I'm giving them a little shape with my scoring tool. And then I decided I needed to color in my farm. If you've watched my channel, you already know that we had a big blue barn on our property, and so that's why I color my barn blue. We also had a red barn, and we had a big red shop, but my favorite color is blue, so I'm going to emphasize the blue barn that we had. And besides, that was the original first barn. We built a second barn that was red, and then right before we sold the farm, we built another blue barn. So I think the blue barns were more the signature of that property. So I'm using shimmer brushes to color it in. I don't know if you noticed that. I love just, they're easy. They add color. If you go over the section more than once, it gives a little bit of a darker section to it. I'm picking up the leaves from the daisies in that. It gives just a little shimmer to the paper. All of it is, I don't know, for me, shimmer brush coloring is quick and easy. You can see how I'm kind of doing the shadow on the bottom corner side of that silo and also giving the panels on the roof some interest. Just remember to give your shimmer brushes a little shake. This gold one, I always have to get primed a little bit because the color in it, or the gold flakes, I really like to see those and want to make sure. So by doing a little puddle, it allows that to happen. I'm just going to finish up this layout by adding some journaling. And there's two different stories that I'm kind of telling. I'm talking about them liking the flowers and Kelly always going and picking those. And then I'm also talking about our son and his love of hot dogs. And I felt I was contemplating about getting out my Perfectly Imperfect impression stamp to give some background multimedia kind of distress look in the background. But instead I just grabbed my old Bluebell shimmer brush and, as you can see, just kind of added some distress lines, or almost kind of like a cloud line. That's where it stemmed from, is I added some grass lines and then some cloud lines around my barn photo, and I just thought that I could do that to give just some more interest to the background. And it's nothing, it's just really random. Now here's the bonus feature. So I grabbed some of the white daisy scallops that I had cut thinking I was going to use them on my layout, and instead I made a rose out of them. So to show you how you can make a rose, I went ahead with the peach shimmer brush and did all the backside, and now I've turned these over, and with the scarlet shimmer brush I'm going to do the same thing on all the rest of them. And I'm not going to make you watch me do that, but I thought you'd like to see how that scarlet kind of runs over into the backside of the peach side. And using my piercing tool, I'm just rolling the tip of each of these scallop edges over, just making a curl with it right around that piercing tool. And because the shimmer brush is wet and it's put some liquid on it, it's really easy to maneuver and shape these images. So for two of the scallops, I'm cutting off about 1/8 of an inch. You can see that here. And then for two more, I will cut off half of that again, like I will cut off half of that width so that they're a little bit longer. So I'm trying to have a full size height, a medium height, and then the shorter height is the first one that I cut out. You can kind of see those strips that I cut off in the top of the screen. And then I take my reverse tweezer, squeeze tweezers, just to hold that center. And again, the paper is still damp. I'm doing this all while it's still damp. And so with the bend side towards the outside, you curl and just roll all of these together. So I grabbed some glue dots. Just, you can use regular glue if you want to hold it, but I was trying to make this a quick process video for you. So I just cut some glue dots in half and they work perfectly. Peel them off. Because the paper is still a little damp, the glue dot doesn't want to stick to it like it really would, but it holds it enough to get this into shape. And then you put the other one in so that when you're rolling, the new one that you're feeding in gets trapped by the first one. So I'll show you that again here. You kind of roll, and if you hold it a bit, it gives it a memory, and then you pull it back, put the glue dot, the other half, onto the inside, and then add your next size scallop right along that edge there and roll. And I won't have you watch me do that with all of them, but I'm finishing up here with the last tallest one that I didn't cut anything off of. And I lost my footage, I apologize for the very end, but you just peel back that very end and again sneak a glue dot underneath there and pinch it closed. If you hold it for really just a count of 4 with your fingers, unless it's super damp, you shouldn't have a problem and you'll have a rose. Be sure to check out all the other amazing twists from our core catalog. They will be in the description under the video. Give them some love, subscribe to their channels, just make a smile for everybody. Have a great day. Blessings.